This is Street Smart on the Ground, where I answer your questions, specifically today about volunteering. I've been traveling and volunteering internationally for the past 3+ years, just renewed my workaway subscription for a 4th year. Been mostly volunteering in Ecuador and now in Colombia, and I'm on host number 30-something. I lost count a little bit ago. Today's topic is food and diet. And if you have dietary restrictions, and I do, how to navigate volunteer hosts while you're traveling around. It's tricky, not impossible, and I'll give you some insights and some tips that have worked for me. Like I said, over 30 hosts, over 3 years across 2 countries, and I've only had one host where my dietary issue was a concern, so I cut the visit short and that was it. I moved on to a place where it wasn't an issue and it was much better for me. Now, dietary concerns. This is a big thing. I'm not talking about I'm choosing to eat in a certain way. I'm talking about you have either some sort of an allergy, which could be a serious deal, and maybe that precludes you from traveling and volunteering at all. Or in my case, I was a vegetarian for 8 years and I got really sick, not because I was a vegetarian, but to recover and stay healthy. Every doctor that I saw, from the oncologist to my GP to naturopaths, nutritionists, everybody told me that my body could not stay healthy without eating animal protein, and a lot of it. A couple of them actually said, I don't say this to anybody, but you got to eat more red meat. And that was the end of my vegetarian experiment. Now, that is a concern when I'm on the road. I can go a day, 2 days without eating animal protein. It's not that bad. Anything past that, it gets really bad really fast. The way I know that is because I've experimented and said, hey, maybe things have changed. Maybe I can go longer without animal protein. And no, my body hasn't changed. And reality has a way of interfering with ideology every time. So, when I'm talking to a host, when I'm saying, hey, I'd like to come and volunteer at your place, I have a dietary issue, I need to eat meat. Is that going to be a problem? And in most cases, it isn't. And what usually happens, a lot of the places I volunteer, they say, we eat a little bit of meat, but it's mostly a vegetarian diet. You are welcome to use the kitchen to buy whatever you want and prepare it so that you can accommodate your dietary need. Fair enough, right? Their place, their rules, and if we can find a compromise, then it's a go. That's not always the case. I'll tell you a story at the end of this video where that definitely was not the case. Now, if you can be flexible about your diet, about what you eat, then you're going to have a lot more opportunities, especially in parts of the world like Central and South America. People don't generally accommodate vegetarian or vegan diets. It's not a big thing. In the cities, you could find more options, and certainly there are hosts that are geared to set up to be able to accommodate people that choose those diets. So if you don't want to bend or can't bend on your dietary issues, then use that as your primary screen when you're looking for potential hosts. If you can bend, there's this great quote from Bruce Lee from an interview, I think it was 1971, on the Pierre Berton show. I'm going to read this verbatim. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put water into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now, water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. Now, if you can bend, in this case on diet, you're going to open up a lot of other opportunities. It's a temporary change when you're on the road because it can be really, really difficult to accommodate certain dietary choices. And if it's a need, like if you eat something and it's going to be really bad, or in my case, if you don't eat something for a series of days, it's going to be really bad, you can't bend on those things. Totally understand. But if you're choosing a vegan diet or a vegetarian or a keto or whatever diet, and you're going on the road, it's going to be really challenging. And a lot of the places I volunteered at, they get requests from people that say, I eat a vegan diet, I'm very strict, you need to accommodate this diet. And they say, there's the kitchen, you're welcome to buy and prepare whatever you want the way you need, and you're good. But we're not changing what we do. And again, their place, their rules. So a host reached out to me a while ago, and they were in a pretty rural setting, and they said, hey, we found your profile. You could help us with a lot of stuff here, a lot of construction and renovation. You could also teach yoga and meditation classes. And I'm like, absolutely I could, yes. And then I looked at their profile, looked at what they were offering, and they were very adamant, like militant vegetarian. And they said no animal protein at all. And I responded to them and said, I could absolutely help you with everything that you mentioned and other things besides, but based on my medical history and doctor's orders, I need to eat animal protein, and as long as that's not an option on your site, I can't help you. And they responded, very polite, thanks for getting back to us, best of luck, all that kind of stuff. And it was sincere, and again, their place, their rules. But the bottom line is to be able to find people that could accommodate what they needed, to do the things they needed to do. Licensed tradespeople don't live anywhere near where these guys are. So they have the option of trying to pay somebody to come in and spend time and do whatever needed to be done to their place, or to learn how to do it themselves. If they could bend on their ideology, just for whatever period of time they needed help, I could have helped them out. But that wasn't going to happen. So that was a case of not being water, my friend. Diet is a huge issue, I get it, and sometimes people can bend and sometimes they can't. Or they choose to bend or they choose to not bend. Totally up to the volunteer and the hosts. I've found that a lot of the time by communicating with the host and just explaining, here's my medical history, here's what I have to do, we can accommodate something that works for both parties. And if that can't happen, then I just go and find other hosts. My dance card's full for almost the rest of this year. This is now the end of February 2026, and I've got people reaching out to me and bookings and everything done for like the next 10 months. So again, if you can be flexible in general, but in this case with your diet, then you'll have a lot more opportunities and a lot more choices when you go on the road and volunteer. And if not, then use your filter, in this case your diet, as a filter, saying these hosts can't accommodate me, I can't stay there, these ones can, I can stay there. Hopefully that's been helpful. If you have any comments or questions about diet, about volunteering or travel, this On the Ground series is specifically about volunteering internationally. I'm doing another one on bus safety, and I have a bunch of others lined up, and they are mostly based on questions that I've got from people watching the videos who said, hey, what about this thing, what about that thing? I use those questions to inform the series and the videos. So, thanks for stopping by. Please drop a comment. Apologize for the noise in the background. I actually shot this video perfectly, but there was so much kids screaming in the background, I had to find another place to shoot it. And now there's other noise in the background. Life on the road. Thanks for stopping by. Happy trails. See you in the next one.